There has been unfortunately many proclamations that New York City is dead. And I find those proclamations a bit confusing because New York City is going through a global pandemic just like any other major city in the world right now. And I want to show all of you today through this live walk in Brooklyn that New York City is not dead. It's actually thriving. It's actually surviving. It's actually getting more beautiful with outdoor dining. So today, join me for a walk through Brooklyn. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist, and let me know where you're watching from. So right now we're starting at a great coffee shop called Black and Gold Coffee. Really awesome place. It's also a record store. And right next door we have F&F Pizzeria, which is also amazing. However, there's a lot of bad reporting happening about New York City being dead. I addressed this last week by going through Manhattan. Well, today let me show you Brooklyn. Let's go. So record store and coffee shop. Here's Black Gold Records. F&F Pizzeria, really great pizza. I just had one slice right now. Try the sausage sage. Right next door is a great Italian pasta restaurant called Frankie's 457. They have a backyard patio. And hold on to your seatbelts because today we're going to have another epic walk through Brooklyn. Our starting point is in Carroll Gardens, where I just did a historical tour. I'll show you where Carroll Gardens is located so many of you can get a sense. Right there in green, all the way down there, is Carroll Gardens, right by Red Hook. This, even though we are in the northern side of Brooklyn, used to be known as South Brooklyn. And I love this trio of neighborhoods because we're going to work our way north towards Cobble Hill and then later towards Boren Hill. Feel free to ask any questions whatsoever. I cover history, food, and culture of cities all around the world. And I've covered New York City, basically every single corner. So my intention today is to show you more of the vibrant parts of Brooklyn. And yes, I am choosing a specific neighborhood because I love this neighborhood. But the beauty of wandering around is that we're going to bump into places that, we might not expect. Who knows? Hello, Angela. Hello, Arlinda. Cindy, Kay. Nice to see you again. Alejandro, Claire from Scotland. Welcome. Jackie, nice to see you here. Hello, Janelle. Josette, Mary. Bernal, Action Kids walking across the Brooklyn Bridge. I mentioned you earlier. Oh, cool, Bernal. Bernal, will this be the broadcast where me and Action Kid bump into each other? Which direction in the Brooklyn Bridge is he walking? Is he walking towards Brooklyn? If so, it might be doable. If he's working towards Manhattan, probably not. Hello, Janelle. Weather looks perfect. It really is. Breezy, sunny day here in Brooklyn. Hello, Nikita. Hello, Donna. Hello, everyone. Hello, Cindy, Angela from England. Viorica, Paula, I applaud you for applauding Brooklyn, my pleasure. Gwen, Bobby, Alexa, Marcella. So soon we'll make our way to Smith Street. Rissa says, oh, how cool. I follow him too, awesome. Let me walk on this side of the street. Jackie says, yes, Action Kid's walking towards Brooklyn. Oh, interesting. We might bump into him. Lead him my way. I'll lead me towards him. Here's Abilene, brunch place. Very vibrant. Hello, George. Hello, Fernando from Peru. Am I walking towards the Brooklyn Bridge? Well, I am indeed walking north because I love this trio of neighborhoods. Oh, sorry. It is a very nice trio of neighborhoods, so I am walking towards the direction of the Brooklyn Bridge. Hello, Natalia, de nuevo. Gracias por mirando. Sean, hello. So here is a great antique shop. There's a lot of really awesome stuff here. However, I want to show you one particular thing. Once these people move, it is a Brooklyn relic, or more so a New York City whole relic. Is these vintage Seltzer bottles. Now, Seltzer was invented in New York back in early New York times in the Tontine Coffee House in downtown Manhattan. It was the first place where they made artificial sparkling water. Sparkling water is sometimes naturally carbonated, at least traditionally it was with Pierre, San Pellegrino, all the other ones. However, Seltzer was artificially carbonated water. And these are the bottles that carbonated the water before. Or at least were pumped with gas and then they would spray out the seltzer. Stephanie, you know me. I walk very, very fast. So most likely I might run into Action Kid. I'm trying to visit New York City soon. I love those old-fashioned seltzer bottles. Me too. They were $15 a piece. I bet you can find them cheaper somewhere. But yeah, they are really cool to have. And there's one seltzer company still alive in Brooklyn. I think they're called the Brooklyn Seltzer Company. They have a few great videos on YouTube, actually. A few companies have covered them, including Vice. And actually, I've always wanted to feature them, so maybe one day you'll see the Brooklyn Seltzer Company, the last seltzer company in New York. There's also Hall's Seltzer. It's not independent, it's owned by a larger soft drink company, and they're also based in Brooklyn. Nikita, will we get to see the Brooklyn Promenade? I'm not entirely sure, but we are walking randomly in Brooklyn, so maybe. Sean, have I done a tour of my old stopping grounds? Are you referring to my childhood neighborhood of Jackson Heights? Yes. I have done tours of Jackson Heights. My recent one was on my birthday, June 19th. So check that out. Risa says, thanks for giving you a tour. Oh, my pleasure. This is an antique shop. Yes, it was, Omar. I say vintage, no antiques. Well, a seltzer bottle is pretty antique, I would say. But I know what you mean, yeah. $135 people walking with me. Oh, cool, so many people tuning in. I love this. Bernard says beer and cheese. Yeah, that's what the sign said. I think they have really lots of amounts of beer, hence the extra E's. And this is such a gorgeous neighborhood to walk around. And am I near Williamsburg? No, I'm not. Williamsburg is much farther away. That would take me maybe a 2 to 3 hour walk. Probably not as much, maybe like 2 hours. Sean, mine is June 16th, your birthday. Very cool, I'll have to check it out. Today, your look's so pleasant. Yes, it is a beautiful, pleasant neighborhood. So earlier today, I met with a fellow urbanist who is actually our urban planner, really cool guy. So shout out to Anthony. And we had coffee here, really great place. I would recommend East 1 after you try Di Amico. I tried the Amico first, but then East one is a good for a second round of coffee. So let's work our way to Smith Street. Now, if you have any recommendations of where to go, please let me know in the comments. I'm here for all of you. This is a wander. So no specific history, no specific agenda. My only agenda for this broadcast is to show you that New York City is not dead. You know, I'm not liking this meme. New York City has been proclaimed dead many times throughout history. Back in the 1970s, there was a big headline on the newspapers that said, President Ford to New York City, dropped dead. Apparently, most of the US thought New York City was a blight upon our nation during the 1970s, which was such a shame. We kind of underappreciate our cities, while in Europe, I think it's quite the reverse. Cities are looked up upon. Suburbs are kind of not seen as optimal places. And cities are wonderful places. I think humanity is not meant for suburbs. I'll make that statement very bold right now. Cities are not meant for suburbs. I mean, humans are not meant for suburbs. Because in the suburb, you don't really get to meet random people. You go into your car, you put on Google Maps, go directly to the mall, to the Walmart, to the cafe, and that's it, you're done. You go directly, you're in, you're out. However, here in the city, I have an opportunity right now with you all joining in via video. We could just wander around. We can meet anyone. We can hang out. We can go to any different type of restaurant. We can explore a new neighborhood, all within walking distance. And even if you have mobility issues, which I know people out there do, still get around. It's a city that has serendipitous encounters anywhere. And yes, the requirement is to feel safe. And I do feel safe in New York. I've been feeling safe in New York most of my life here. And I think cities are important places to make arts thrive. Music, Broadway, musical theater, movies, tech, media, countless other industries. Let me know what you think. Rose says that's why I love the city. So where are we right now? We are in Carroll Gardens. We're seeing the Brooklyn skyline in the distance. That is downtown Brooklyn there in the distance. I'll zoom in. But let's make our way . So Gowanus Canal kayaking. Jackie is proposing that we go kayak the Gowanus Canal. Who wants to kayak the most poisonous waterway in all of the U.S.? Jackie, thank you so much for the stars. I'm waving to you. My shadow is waving to you. Safe is a dog whistle. I'm not sure what that expression means, Kim. Let me know. Bobby says, New York City is the greatest city in the world. If New York City is dead, what else does the U.S. have? Not much. I agree. I mean, not much. If you think about it, all the top major companies in the world, or all the top major companies in the U.S., all the top artists, directors, writers, musicians, screenwriters, novelists, tech entrepreneurs, real estate developers, pharmacists, engineers, where did they all get their start? It wasn't in the suburbs. They might have lived in the suburbs when they were young, but they couldn't have gained such massive innovations in a vacuum alone. No one really does that. The way we innovate as humanity is by having social interactions. And online video is not quite enough. Yes, you're watching a live video, but that's quite not enough. There's something special about being there with someone, face to face. That's when innovation happens of any kind. Maybe science, art, poetry, anything. Food, anything. Do you make money from stars? A little, Jackie, a little. Enough to cover some basic costs like transportation. So I appreciate anyone who gives me stars. And some basic food costs that I might cover in the video. New York is resilient. Coming from a proud native New Yorker, I never had a doubt it would bounce back. Yeah, and New York has bounced back. You know, as I mentioned, 70s it was proclaimed dead. But New York City has been proclaimed dead before then. Yellow fever epidemic of the 1830s, it was proclaimed dead. Even the Spanish flu of 1918, proclaimed dead. The various outbreaks that happened, the typhoid fever outbreak, proclaimed dead. Lower East Side was said to be a hellhole. That's changed. New York City has risen up countless times. It's always been trending up, just like our stock market or just like humanity as a whole. There's always been a trend upwards. Debbie, where am I? Carroll Gardens. Heading to Smith Street. Are those condos? What do condos sell for over here? Very expensive. The medium income in this neighborhood is $125,000. So this is an expensive neighborhood. However, do keep in mind that a lot of these houses were originally for low income and middle income houses. They were not originally $2 million homes. So yes, of course, there is an ebb and flow in cities. What street am I? Right now I am at Union Street and at Smith. So let's go down Smith. My mom's birthplace, 87 years ago, family's roots deep here. Younger generation now in Union. Oh, cool, Judith. That's cool that your family has roots here. Jackie, to answer your question, yeah, stars are tips. Each 10 stars is 10 cents. So each star is a cent. So 100 stars is $1. 500 stars is $5. 2,000 stars is $20. Fernando, thank you so much for the stars. What is the occupation of the average people here? Good question. You know, it is $125,000 medium income here in Cobble Hill, so there is a good possibility that a lot of people here work in tech. If you are not familiar with tech is, it's any technology company. So that could range from a software-based company like Salesforce, or it could be social media network like Facebook, Google, Instagram. I used to work for Foursquare, another social media app company. Media, I assume there might be some people here who work in media and advertising. Though I can't tell you for sure. Though you can find more details usually in, I think Street Easy does offer some of those details. Jackie, FB gave you free stars. Oh, cool. That's awesome that they gave you free stars. Love the tree-lined streets. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Would love to see you explore Harlem. Omar, I've done like 10 videos on Harlem. I've done a jazz tour of Harlem. I've done 2 history videos on Harlem. So search Harlem Urbanist and you'll see it. But maybe I'll be back soon. Greeting from Mexico. Hey, Wackio, welcome. Howdy, Kenneth from Texas. Jennifer says, best chicken parm at Vinny's across the street. Ooh, where's Vinny's? I think we just passed it. But thank you for the recommendation. Yes, if you have any food recommendations here, please let your fellow urbanists know what they should try out in this area. Omar, yeah, you can take as many screenshots as you want. Just don't sell them. Do whatever you want with screenshots. Share with a friend or a family member. All I ask is don't make a t-shirt out of it and sell it. I think that's self-explanatory. So New York City dead? No. It's outdoor dining. Court Street Pastry. Teresa, yes, I covered Court Street Pastry last broadcast. So the one I did earlier today. Check it out. I covered its brief history. Ooh, Cubana Cafe. Wow, what? Cuban food here. That's amazing. And some amazing music. Let's see the menu. So, live Cuban jazz. I love this. Bobby, have I done Peter Luger? No, I have never done Peter Luger inside. I've been there personally, but I've never gone in.
When this all started, she called me.
Maybe one day. It's a great steak. Definitely a great steak. Wackio, you say Action Kid was broadcasting live minutes ago from Brooklyn Bridge. Oh, that's awesome. If I sell t-shirts straight out of them, I'll make sure you get your no, Omar. That requires permission to hit me up. That requires some private dealing. If I missed a question, feel free to ask again. What's oh yeah, I already read that. Danila says my walk is showing people out, but it's not busy. Thus it doesn't prove that the city is not dying. We're not the only one in the pandemic. I think a lot of people expect us to not be in the pandemic. I'm not entirely sure why. You know, New York City is in the same boat as London, Tokyo, France, Paris, Madrid, Rome, Naples, Wuhan, countless other cities around the world. It's in the same boat. It's in the same boat. Everyone's doing their best. Whoa, look at this old car. David, oh, great question. Asked, with the movie release of Tesla, do you plan on doing any more history on his life? My video was actually pretty comprehensive. I don't know if there's that much more to cover about him in terms of New York City and his life. So not as far as I know, unless if you have any recommendations for interesting information. So as I mentioned, this is known as Little France currently. So there are these new French bistros. The buildings look particularly good in the silent light. Yeah, they do. There's a great painting by Edward Hopper, which is called 7th Avenue, if I recall correctly. And he paints these similar buildings in the same type of lighting. It's one of the most famous paintings from him. And you can find it in the Whitney Museum of American Art. Shalom, Cherry. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're within walking distance of the Jewish neighborhoods. Sen Mazzolo lard bread. You know, I really want to try that lard bread. I already, unfortunately, walked too far away from Mazzolo's, but yeah, great recommendation. Beautiful Vespa. This is actually a great neighborhood to own a Vespa. So another French restaurant. Ronald, yes, I think you're a car expert, right? The old car is a Chevy Silverado. Cool, thank you for letting us know. Peter Luger's is known as New York City's best restaurants, but it got a 1-star rating from New York Times. It did. Oh, this is the place. I heard about this place. This place sells authentic Italian, not Italian-American, but Italian paneserotti. I make that differentiation because when you talk about Italian-American food, it's had more than 100 years of separation from Italy. Thus, it has made its own identity. Italian is just people who recently came from Italy. So apparently this place is good. Let's see their menu. I think they're closing. So these are like puffs, like empanadas, stuff with more Italian ingredients. Interesting. Huh. Interesting. Hola B. Griffin. Does it look like it was longer on both ends than a regular sized truck? Oh, I'm not entirely sure. Stephanie. Jason, what a nice day. It really is. It's great to see this part of Brooklyn, which I'm not familiar with. Yeah, Carroll Gardens was not known as a safe neighborhood per se, or a very pleasant neighborhood, especially if you're not from the neighborhood. So if you weren't an Italian American, a lot of people would not venture inside here due to various factors, but that was what I've read many reports on. So that said, I assume if you grew up in New York City here in the 60s, 70s, this probably was, and you weren't from the neighborhood or you weren't Italian American, it probably wouldn't be a neighborhood you would generally visit. That has changed. This has become quite a foodie spot. As you can tell, there's great restaurants all around. Hello, B. Griffin, welcome. And Carroll Gardens used to also be known as Red Hook, right, B. Griffin? And Red Hook was known as one of the most dangerous neighborhoods. Yes, that's correct. Carroll Gardens did not quite have the terrible reputation that Red Hook did in terms of murder. Red Hook definitely had a worse reputation. Brooklyn seems like a huge area. Did not realize it was so big. Look at this beautiful bookstore. So, gorgeous bookstore. Wonderful books. So now we should be in the neighborhood of Cobble Hill. Gage and Toller is coming back to Fulton Street and J Street. Oh, I'm glad Gage and Toller is coming back. Gage and Toller, I think a cocktail bar. So, Angela, for comparison, Brooklyn is the same size as Paris. It's that big. Like all of Paris can fit within Brooklyn. It's gigantic. And yet another, you guessed it, another French restaurant. If you miss Paris, this is the neighborhood to visit, both Carroll Gardens and Cobble Hill. Have you done Jewish neighborhoods in Brooklyn? Many times, Caitlin. Caitlin, I literally have, for anyone who's new to Urbanists, I've literally done more than 1,000 videos on New York alone. So go on Facebook, search Urbanist, whatever the keyword is about New York. You can search Urbanist Williamsburg, Urbanist Bedford Ave for Jewish neighborhoods, Urbanist Eastern Parkway as well. Search anything on Urbanists about New York and you'll most likely find a video. I've done over 1,000 videos in New York. And many of them have been about history, so I do go in depth. Sounds of the city, yes, I do go to different cities. I've done 13 cities overall. Unfortunately, the pandemic, it's a bit hard to travel. Maybe soon I can make my way back to the UK. Apparently, New York City is allowing people to go to the UK, which is interesting. It's going to be the only connection to Europe. So look at this. So this is the cool street to walk through. Smith has a whole lot of history. We see more of the amazing views of the Brooklyn skyline coming there in the distance. And you really get to get a feel of outdoor dining, lots of great shops. If you want a very unique souvenir, I would recommend going to these neighborhoods. There's a lot of these knick-knack shops. It's a term in English for kind of like variety stores. They have cups, mugs, shirts, scarves, stationery, all these other things. Hey, Jason and Jennifer. Oh, I'm glad you enjoy my videos. Vic, welcome. Nice to see you here. Ruby, welcome as well. We have a lot of people tuning in. A lot of people. Welcome, everyone. Nice to see you here. We have a whole lot amount of people watching on YouTube. So if anyone's tuning in, I can't see the numbers. Let me know how many people are tuning in on YouTube and how many people are tuning in on Facebook. Please let me know if you have any questions. I cover history, so I know a lot of things off the top of my head. Though this is not a research tour, so whatever I do say on this video, do your own research before you repeat it. Okay, let's keep walking. Shadow, nice to see you here. 73 people on YouTube. Oh, amazing. So here we hear the train passing down, which is the F and G line. And look at these restaurants. Oh, the restaurant in the back. This one has outdoor seating in the back. Look at that. Amazing. Wow. Hey, how's it going? John, most are here because Action Kid's stream drop. Oh, sorry, the Action Kid streams drop. That happens. It's a risk we live streamers take in New York City or anywhere around the world. Things disconnect. Things come back up. There might be boring parts. There might be very exciting parts. There might be dangerous parts. There might be nothing to talk about. There might be everything to talk about. That is the beauty of live streaming, ladies and gentlemen, and people of all genders. I appreciate all the comments, everyone. Thank you so much for saying hello. Kay says 72 on YouTube, 121 on Facebook. Amazing. Welcome, everyone. Hey, Shadow, Catherine, check out this really cute vintage store called Candy Colored Girl. Oh, thank you so much for the recommendation. I'm very far away from Bed-Stuy right now. Though maybe, let me know in the comments, would anyone be interested in a Bed-Stuy wander? Or even a Bed-Stuy history video? I gotta find if there definitely is some interesting history on Bed-Stuy, especially when it comes to hip-hop and African-American culture in the 1970s and 80s. So B. Griffin asks, okay, I'm getting a lot of comments, so if I miss your question, feel free to ask again. B. Griffin says, has anyone recognized you on the street? Like what has increasingly happened to Action Kid? Yes, I've been recognized many times here in New York, and a few times when I've been abroad. I've been recognized in London a few times. I've been also recognized in Bucharest, Romania, which was kind of the craziest place I've been recognized. I've been recognized also Montreal. Those have been the four cities I've been recognized. So trash on the side, which you never see in Chicago. All right, so this deserves a little bit of explanation because I know many of you have seen a few of my videos. You probably see other YouTuber live streamers that walk around New York City. You're probably wondering why there's so much trash in the street. Is New York City this dirty? No, not quite. The quirk about New York City is not like cities like London or Paris or Rome that have alleyways. There are basically no alleyways in New York City. Very, very few alleyways. Thus, New York City has never had an alleyway to throw away their trash. If you go to a city like Rome or London, the trash is thrown in the alleyway. And the trash collectors go into the alleyway and pick up the trash. That doesn't happen here. The second factor is Rome, some parts of Rome that don't have alleyways, or if you go to a city, if you go to like San Juan, Puerto Rico, I think Bucharest as well, they have trash compartments that are either above ground or lower ground. They don't have that here either. So New York City throws its trash on the street. That's why there's a New York City smell, because when things get really hot and it's black bags shining upon gathering humidity, a smell is exerted. And that's unfortunately the New York City smell. Hopefully New York could fix that at some point. I'm not sure what's taking so long. Dupe Cheap Says Bay. I've done Cheap Says Bay. Check it out. Search Bedford Avenue, New York. Also, I search Cheap Says Bay, New York. I mean, Cheap Says Bay Urbanist. Put the bag trash. You want me to say put the bag trash on the street. Don't say throw. That's just semantics, man. I think I know what you mean, but there's the common. I know what you mean. People actually don't throw trash as much as they used to here in New York City. Like litter, that doesn't happen too much anymore, luckily. All right, everyone, take out your notepads, write down a recommendation. I'll show you this is the train station we're passing by, Bergen Street Station. Ruby, what's my nationality? Puerto Rican, raised in New York, so New Yorican. One of my top ice cream recommendations, I recommended this because they have a bunch of stores in different neighborhoods, is Van Leeuwen. Also, the best vegan ice cream you can get. They both have dairy ice cream and vegan ice cream. Their vegan ice cream is made with cashew milk. Ooh, so delicious. So delicious. Hey, Johnson used to live here. 122 Butler. Love the nostalgia. Have I been to Hungary or Croatia? I've been personally to Budapest, but I haven't done videos there yet. I can't wait to go to Budapest. 122 Bergen. All right. We'll show your house, Johnson. We're right next door. Let's be spontaneous. Let's show Johnson's house. I hope you don't live there anymore. I mean, you mentioned it already in the comments, so privacy is already have been, you're already given that up. Jackie says, I lived through a garbage collection strike in the 70s. Oh yes, I heard about that.
Yeah, probably.
And she said, you know, like, I can
Omar, am I related to J-Lo? No, not all Puerto Ricans are related to each other in New York. For context, there is, I think, more than 6 million Puerto Ricans in the U.S. There are more Puerto Ricans in the U.S. than there are in the island of Puerto Rico, which has a population just below 4 million. So, no, I'm not related to J-Lo, nor Ricky Martin, nor Mark Anthony. 122, we're getting close. Okay. So Juan asks, do you know why there are never another G train that runs from Brooklyn to Queens? That was discontinued back in the early 2000s. It was like 2003, 2004, if I recall correctly. I'm not sure why they canceled it. I think because of due to the low ridership. So first, let's go back to the early 2000s. Here's 122. Johnson, your house is currently covered in scaffolding. Shadow, no, I'm not related to A-Rod at all. I have no major Puerto Rican celebrity I'm related to, actually. Actually, there is one. I am related to Miss Universe of like 2004. Oh, no, it was a little bit later. I think she was Miss Universe in 2010, around there. Yeah, I'm related to one Miss Universe. That's the only celebrity I'm related to. So, 122, Bergen Street. Stephanie says I'm my own celebrity. Indeed, maybe I'll be the first within my family. I appreciate that you interact with anybody, not just those who give you money. My attention is all yours. I'm here with you guys. Us. We're here together. There's no one else. So feel free to ask any questions. Let me show you more. I love Puerto Rican culture. Wish there was more in Texas. Yeah, Susie says I am a celebrity. I appreciate it, Susie. I appreciate it. I will take that compliment and put it in my pocket. Thank you. Ronald, Diana Torres. Is she one of the? I forgot her name. The Miss Universe I'm related to. She is my third cousin. So unfortunately, I did have forgotten her name. She doesn't have the same last name as me. That I do know. Shadow, am I doing a walk in Queens? Soon, yeah. I've done many walks in Queens. Search any, all those videos are on Facebook. I just started recently on YouTube. So search, all right, this is getting a little bit crowded here. Search on Facebook, Urbanist, whatever neighborhood in Queens. I've covered many neighborhoods. Jackson Heights, Sunnyside, I've covered Woodside. I've covered Astoria, Steinway, Long Island City. Long Island City you can find on YouTube. Hey, 2000 Coney. Thank you so much for the super chat. And lots of people sending stars on Facebook as well. Says, everyone spike the likes for Ariel. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. So thank you so much, Coney. I appreciate that. You help keep Urbanists thriving and moving forward for all these epic walks and through all these history tours. So maybe we will bump into some food later on. Maybe. Let me turn the camera. Everyone, I appreciate the compliments, though I do ask, let's keep it positive. Don't directly compare me to other creators. I appreciate it, but don't directly compare. But you can say whatever else you would like. Is it normal practice to throw garbage bags on the street? Yes, Lori. I said the story just about 10 minutes ago, so you can watch the replay later. But long story short, New York City doesn't have alleyways, thus trash bags are placed on the street. The boss says do the 5. Ooh, what are you referring to, the boss? Yes, Mr. Barrios, thank you so much for reminding me. Yes, the Miss Universe I am related to is Ukela Rivera. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Forgive me, Zukela. I forgot your name. Forgive me, Zukela. B. Griffin says all creators are good. Yes, we all have our distinct aspects. Since there's so many people tuning in right now, I'll take this opportunity to recommend a few other creators, just so you have more options to see more different parts of the city. I tend to cover a lot of history, architecture, food. I do these wanders that are very heavily interaction. But if you do want to, on YouTube, if you want to learn more about very weird different neighborhoods that really don't have that much history or that much things to do, but like are just interesting to visit, go to Action Kid. He's been to places like Hunts Point, Brownsville, random neighborhoods in Brooklyn and Queens. Another person great on YouTube is my friend Jennifer O'Brien. She covers a lot of food tips. Also lots of like New York City pro tips as well. I like Walk, Ride, Fly. He's a really cool guy. Give him some support. Really awesome dude. I haven't met him personally, but I've seen his videos. Really awesome dude. So do check him out. How many stars is $10? George, $10 is 1,000 stars. That's $10. Each 100 stars is $1. Here's a gardening store. Let's check this out. Ooh, gardening. Now on Facebook, if you want to follow very interesting people, New York Live with Mickey covers everything that's up to date when it comes to art installations, graffiti, statues, crazy, like really interesting stuff that just have popped out in New York City until recently. My friend New York City for All on Facebook as well covers also a lot of current events, lots of stuff that are happening now. Not news, but in terms of things to do. And one more on YouTube is Shane Mary Jane. Really love her work. I've collaborated with her a few times. I just love the look of these places. This place I really enjoy called Mile End. It's a bit blasphemous, but this is a Montreal deli in New York. If you're in love with pastrami sandwiches, this has one of the best pastrami sandwiches in my opinion. It is Montreal style, but you can't really tell the difference if you're not so accustomed to eating pastrami delis.
Block is your map on.
Shirag asks, have you read Rebecca Solnit's works on walking, like Wanderlust, A World History of Walking? Shirag, I never read that book, though I do love Rebecca Solnit's Men Explain Things. I read that book literally in one sitting. I remember the day. I actually had like I was like waiting for a date in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. I went to the Bean, RIP that cafe in Williamsburg. It's a cafe that was open late. And I had Men Explain Things. And I opened it up and I couldn't put it down. I just read it cover to cover. Rebecca Solnit is a genius writer. Her book shook me to the core in a good, educative way. So I haven't read Walking, but I do have her other book, New York Atlas. And I have used that as a reference a few times, specifically in my videos about the Jewish community. She has a few great articles on it. And also she has a great article in that book about Robert Moses, and it's all based on maps. And look at this tiny little street. She should interview you for that book. Maybe, I would. That would be so awesome to talk to Rebecca Solnit. I have a feeling if I had her in a live video, it would be such an awesome live video. So nice trees, yes, a lot of historical neighborhood. She just had a baby. Sarah Funk and Tom DeGaldo are great too. I don't watch them too much, but I do know Sarah Funk in person. Yeah, great person. Ronar says, looks dead to you. Well, Ronar, we're all going through a pandemic. We're all doing our best. New York City is doing our best. Brooklyn is doing our best. But I wouldn't call this dead. I would call this just quiet. It's a global pandemic. It's quiet. So let me know in the comments. Everyone right now in the comments, recommend your fellow urbanists, the other people tuning in on YouTube and Facebook, recommend your favorite book, either about exploration, walking, or about New York City. Let them know in the comments right now. For me, it's Manhattan's Little Secrets. It's been one of my favorite books recently. So put down in the comments. Let's blow up this comment with a bunch of book recommendations. I hear some Beach Boys music. Beautiful restaurant. Oh, I love restaurants like this. Sometimes I pass through these restaurants and I wish I could eat at all of them. Not just like at one. I just want to eat like all of them. Juan says, do you think you'll be moving out in New York City anytime soon? Yes. My own personal opinion is I already seen enough of New York. I've been living here most of my life. I've been living here basically my entire life. I just lived 1 year in Puerto Rico when I was younger. So I already seen everything I needed to see. Personally, I want to move to Europe, and I do want to spend a few months in the UK. I do envision myself maybe a few months to a year in the UK. So personally, I am looking forward to move out. And don't worry, there's plenty of other people who will continue doing New York City content. But for me, in the near future, you might be seeing walks through the UK, England, Scotland, walks through Edinburgh Castle, Stonehenge and its mysteries. Oh no, a bunch of other things. I still keep going back to Bowery Boys, says K. Yes, I agree. Bowery Boys is a great, what is this? Great book. Trophy World, a store just about trophies. So if you ever wanted a fake Oscar, I can give myself an Oscar. Oh, I can give myself an Oscar. So cool. And does anyone else want an Oscar? Let me know. Let me know. Do you want an Oscar? Let me know in the comments. There's a man aggressively sneezing right behind me, so I'm going to walk faster. So don't mind me. He's aggressively sneezing. Not just like sneezing, but just aggressively sneezing. I'd rather not show it to all of you. It might be traumatizing. Have I visited Barcelona? No, not yet, but I really do want to go to Barcelona. They have really cool architecture there. And ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived to downtown Brooklyn. Surrounded by the skyscrapers of Brooklyn. Where should we go next? Let me know. Some Art Deco over here. Would you live in Europe permanently? Oh no, maybe. I do enjoy more of the European lifestyle. Yeah, aggressively sneezing. Is he still close? He luckily turned. Yeah, a man was aggressively sneezing. Yeah, I love European lifestyle. I do love New York, and my love for New York is very obvious if you see more of my videos. But there is something about Europe that's very interesting. And New York is moving towards that direction, which is nice. But yeah, I do envision myself spending much more time in Europe in the near future. John asked, can you walk across the Brooklyn Bridge? Maybe. Let's see where we go close. Great suggestion. Thank you for putting something in. K, here's K Jewelers. For K Morrow and a few other Ks watching. Ronald, yes, you can follow my podcast at Urbanist Podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's not really so up to date because because of the pandemic, but I have a few great episodes on there, so check them out. Special Academy Award for Best Urban Documentation goes to. Thank you so much, Jackie. I appreciate it. B, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you tuning in, B Griffin. Urban explorer Piero Armenti, his books, A Guide, Il mio viaggio a Nueva York, and his newest novel based in New York City called Una notte o Sagato, New York. Oh, cool. A night in New York. That's awesome. Thank you for the recommendation. All right, let's cross. There's roving gangs of bikers now. So, is New York City dead? No, it's been overtaken by bikers. Dun dun dun. I think we have to take a while to look around. Secret New York, An Unusual Guide by Tom M. Reeves. Oh, Donald. Oh yeah. I have that book as well. I love the Secret series. I interviewed the writers of Secret Brooklyn and Secret Manhattan, Secret New York. I use a whole lot as well. It is a resource I use constantly. I've covered most of the places mentioned there at this point, but they still continue being a good resource, especially when I go to other cities. I love the Secret Cities. It's always one of the books I always get. My favorite movie theaters in this neighborhood, yeah, Elizar. It is Alamo Drafthouse. I'm absolutely in love with Alamo Drafthouse. Such a great place. Shadow says, thanks for your walk and your fellow YouTubers. I definitely learned a few things about it. Oh, my pleasure. And look at this interesting building. Cast iron building, though I can't tell if it's authentic because it looks so clean. And the upper stories are apartments. So Raul, that answers your question. Yeah, a lot of these upper stories are apartments. I'm not entirely sure about this specific building. This looks offices. But if you look at this building, it is apartments. Booyah! Nice to see you here. Stephanie, so cool that you work with kids. That's awesome. They have a social media classroom. Oh, that's amazing. Fernando says, nice video. Thank you so much for tuning in, Fernando. Every time I hear the name Fernando, I remember the song by Lady Gaga, which is Alejandro, but she says the name Fernando a few times. Angela, you're watching from New Zealand. Welcome. Nice to see you here. Go to Dumbo, says Ahmed. Just maybe, Ahmed. Maybe. Brooklyn Heights. We have a lot of people saying, George says, I sent you $10, but I never see where it says it shows it. George, if you send me $10 as stars, it'll show up as stars. Though unfortunately, I can't feature it as a comment. That feature is not available in this app, but it does appear. If you did it through PayPal, I appreciate it. Anyone who's giving me a virtual tip on PayPal, feel free to say in the comments, and I'll definitely shout you out. Everyone, I'm at a crossroads, literally, but also metaphorically, because there's two places we can go, or at least directly. We can go this way into Dumbo, or we can go into Brooklyn Heights. I'm gonna need your vote. So, in the comments, let me know, Brooklyn Heights or Dumbo. Dumbo, you could put an elephant emoji. Brooklyn Heights, you could put it's a family neighborhood, so you can put a family emoji. Brooklyn Heights, Dumbo. Cue the Jeopardy music. Doom dun 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 dun. Dumbo or Brooklyn Heights? Your choice. As they used to say in Mortal Kombat, the video game, fight! That's my best impression of the Mortal Kombat announcer. It's probably one of my best. We're getting a lot of Dumbo. OB just made a new portmanteau for Brooklyn Heights called Hybo. Points for creativity. Have you heard anything about Alex Trebek? No, I haven't. I think he's still doing Jeopardy. I'm not sure because of the pandemic, that might not be currently ongoing, but as far as I know, he's still doing Jeopardy. Okay, everyone. So the winner is, we have a whole lot of Dumbo. The winner is Dumbo. So what am I using to live stream? It's so steady because I'm using the DJI Osmo Mobile 3. There's a number 4 that's now out. And I am streaming with Prism Live Studio. That's the app I'm using. We've seen Dumbo so many times. Oh yeah, but don't worry, Dumbo's not the end. Oh, Stephanie, Alex Trebek has cancer. Oh, that's so sad to hear. He's such a wonderful talent. Great guy. As far as I know, he's always been like a stand-up guy. So yeah, it's sad to hear. I hope he does recover somehow. Look at that. Stephanie says, thank you for doing this live stream. I'm jumping streams again. Have a good night. Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning in, Stephanie. Look at that. Whoa. Crazy sun. So, are you using Verizon? Yes, I am. With a nod. Are you relaying the information to other other live streamers, telling them all my secrets? I want to stay in hotels in Times Square. Serious though. Times Square is probably one of the best deals you can get. There's very good, affordable hotels. If you're staying in a hotel, Times Square has very competitive prices, especially now because of the pandemic. But even if when things go back to normal, Times Square is still very competitive. Adamo recommends going to sleep no more when things go back up. It's like you're gliding there. Indeed, yeah. All right. Okay, finally. Crazy sun, holy shit. God damn. Is New York City dead? No, there are pigeons. See, New York City's not dead. Pigeons. Blimpie's closed though. Carmel says go where you want. Indeed, indeed. But I like putting things up for a vote. You want to see my videos are very precise. Those tend to be the history tours. They're scheduled 1 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday. Travel to other cities too. Yes, Fernando. Yeah, hopefully soon. Hopefully things will get better. And hopefully the borders will open again. Well, as long as people are safe, but hopefully the borders do open. Hot in the city tonight, says Paul. Interesting, Paul. You got this, says Hashan. Thank you so much, Hashan. Subway's packed during rush hour in the mornings. I haven't taken a train in the rush hour time yet. Wait, I did. I did take a train because I met Herby Bar yesterday early in the morning. So 2 days ago, Friday, I took the train during rush hour and it was empty. It was nice. Yeah, there was not that many people. I also took the Long Island Railroad, and yeah, it was nice, calm. Take that as you will. I know things are different for everyone, though I was riding through Manhattan. Is this Brooklyn? Yes, persevere, faith. It is Brooklyn. We're now in downtown Brooklyn. What city in New York do you recommend to stay? The only city in New York is New York City. So, I mean, there's other cities in New York State, but if you're referring to New York City, it itself is the entire city. Where in New York City to stay, I would recommend lots of different places. It depends what you're looking for. If you're a first timer, stay in Manhattan. If you're staying in a hotel, just go to, I would say just stay in Midtown Manhattan. You're close to all the tourist destinations. If you are, if you want a little bit more food experience, if you're staying in an Airbnb, consider staying in one of the villages. East Village, Greenwich Village, or West Village. Great, great places to stay. Jackie says Lin-Manuel Miranda would want you to be in the Heights. Oh yeah, I would love to be in the Heights. I think they're already finished filming, but it would have been so awesome to be in the Heights. I hope to meet Lin-Manuel Miranda one day. He's another famous New Yorican. So let me know in the comments, would you like me to do a live stream tour through Broadway with Lin-Manuel Miranda himself? Let me know. John asked about Trump Hotel. I don't know too much about that hotel. Probably very expensive. I said there's probably better hotels to stay at. I've covered a few hotels on Facebook. Search, go to Urbanist on Facebook on the videos tab. Click the playlist Urban Boutique and have a bunch of awesome places. So thank you so much for the stars. I appreciate it. And Tori, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Angela, thank you for the stars. So everyone, I think people are going to get the best of both worlds because we are in the position where we have to go both to Brooklyn Heights and to Dumbo. I hate to break it to you for all the people who voted Dumbo, but we have to go through Brooklyn Heights. We do. Both of you win. You all get a neighborhood. The Hilton. I don't know too much about the Hilton either. I would say they're cooler hotels to stay at. Claire says, yes, do a tour with Lin-Manuel Miranda, LMM. Here's the courthouse. Very historic building. Lots of historic skyscrapers here. This is the historic downtown area of Brooklyn. Back in the 1920s, Brooklyn was growing as well. A little bit earlier than that, actually. Like 1910s. Sammy, can I do a food walk? Yes, I've done many food walks. Watch the video I did earlier today. The one before this one. I did a semi-food tour of Carroll Gardens. However, you will see more food. There might be food here, maybe. Who knows what's going to happen on this live video. We might find food, we might find drinks, we might find tea. We might find a crumpet. We might find a church. We might venture into the ferry or the subway. Or maybe hop onto the helicopter and go to New Jersey. Who knows what could happen in this broadcast? That's why you tune in to Urbanist. John asked, can I do a beautiful woman hunt? No, that is not that type of channel. There are other channels for that. This is not it. Though I can talk about the history of amazing women, which I've done before. So George says, you threw me. How is Greenwich Village different from the West Village? They have their own unique identity. Greenwich Village is now really mostly dominated by NYU. So there's a whole lot of students there. And now an increasing amount of bubble tea shops, which are Chinese mostly. That's Greenwich Village. West Village has a different vibe. people who tend to hang out there tend to be a little bit older than, say, like in Williamsburg. So people are like between the ages of 35 and 50. There's a lot more restaurants, great wine bars. Yeah. Are you a tour guide by trade? Omar, I do offer tour guiding services. Tours, urbanist.live/tours. By trade, I am a filmmaker and a presenter. So I make videos for companies, for brands, and sometimes I appear in camera for them as well. So this school is the one that Ethan Hawke, the actor, attended. Packer, if I remember correctly. He is a great actor. He was in one of my favorite trilogy of movies called Before Sunset, Before Sunrise, and Before Midnight. Also, he appeared in Dead Poet Society with Robin Williams. Shadow says, I deserve an Oscar. Thank you so much, Shadow. I appreciate it. One day, I will be directing movies. I already wrote my first short screenplay. I converted it into a novella, which you can find on Amazon, called Retrowave by Ariel Vieira. Unfortunately, the pandemic put that on hold. It's a bit tough to make an indie production during these times. However, you will see me at some point in Hollywood. At some point, you will see a movie on the big screen directed by Ariel Vieira, and perhaps written as well. Big for the gay community too. Yeah, Caitlin, yeah, it is. Yeah, West Village. Oh, churches. Let's see a church. Oh, Captain My Campton. Oh, yes. Dead Poet Society. Such a great movie. I love these comments. Everyone has such great comments. John says, New York nice, but not really exciting like you imagine. Oh, John, I think your mind might change the more you explore it. Brooklyn Heights, Henry Ward Beecher was an interesting fellow. Interesting. Do I have a mask on? Yes, I do, Young. I do have a mask on. Wilma, I can't buy a star for you. I don't be a top fan because I'm a great fan of you and your walks. Wilma, I appreciate it. Here's proof I'm wearing a mask. I wear a mask for all my videos. But this is not a video about science or politics. For stars, I'm not sure what the issues you're running into, but you press the stars button, you have to buy a star first, and then you can send it. Each star is 1 cent, so 100 stars is $1. Yeah. Otherwise, you can donate via PayPal. You can tip via PayPal. And all tips, all contributions go directly to making more videos. Transportation, food, attractions, etc. So they call Brooklyn the city of churches for nothing. Not for nothing, I mean. Wow. Millie says, what the hell? I was watching a gaming vid, fell asleep, and now you're here, Millie. Well, welcome to Urbanist, Millie. I think it's not a coincidence that you're here. You were always meant to join on this virtual walk of New York City. So, big welcome to you, Millie. Do you accept Bitcoins? John, I do. I'm not sure how to accept Bitcoin, but I would be more than happy to accept a Bitcoin. Let me know how one could accept a Bitcoin. Brooklyn Heights, ladies and gentlemen. David, your wife and you are moving to Brooklyn in October 1. Exciting as F. Oh, I'm so glad you're moving here. Hawke was terrible in the assault in Precinct 13. Yeah, you know, Ethan Hawke is a great actor. In some movies. In some movies, he's really not that good. He's hit or miss, but when he hits, he hits. Look at this house. Wow. Look at that. John, thank you so much for the stars. Brooklyn named after Brooklyn. Yes, it's named after the town in Holland, Brooklyn. It means the land of brooks, I think, the area of brooks, so like these little waterways with rocks in them. And Brooklyn is that if you take away all these buildings. Don't worry, we'll make our way to Dumbo soon. We're taking a detour. Stars are basically a cryptocurrency. Not quite. I would like to hear a little bit more of your thoughts on that, but there's not really any other place to use stars. It's people send it. It's like game coins. People send it, and then I just end up getting cash from it. So it doesn't quite function like a cryptocurrency. It doesn't have any blockchain associated with it. Div, thank you so much for the stars. Johnson says, yas. Millie, you were watching Mr. Beast. Oh, cool. From Mr. Beast to urbanist. Whoa, quite a jump. Welcome. This is a cool idea. I really wanted to visit New York City and Brooklyn, says Persevere Fate. But because of the situation, I couldn't do this. This is so cool for now. What is the percentage of people who own cars? Great question, Raul. I don't know off the top of my head. It is much lower than other U.S. cities. That I can tell you for sure. Probably a little bit higher than the average European city. That I can also tell you with pretty confidently that is the case. Hey Renato, welcome. You just biked your way here on your way to Astoria. Loved your collab video with Here We Bar. I'm so glad you loved my collab and glad you biked here to Astoria. That must have been an epic bike ride. It's quite a long way. This car has literally no visibility within the windows. What are they hiding? Brooklyn, city of churches. Okay, everyone, I gotta take a water break. So I gotta take a water break. Bear with me. Feel free to ask me any other questions. Because I have a mask on, I have to actually stop everything I'm doing, take off the mask, and drink water. So this is a gorgeous neighborhood. Absolutely so many things to see. Highly recommend it. They're hiding that gold grain, maybe they are. Johnson. Oh wow, that tastes good. Right now I gotta buy more water. It's like a video tour. Yeah, Johnson, Millie, if you're not familiar with Urbanist, right now we're just walking around, but you can ask me any questions. I know a whole lot of history of the city, also know a lot about food and culture, so feel free to ask me anything about New York. And I look like your doctor. Millie, that's because I am your doctor. And you should have not been eating that, Millie. Oh, Paul, I didn't know that for British people, water break means a urination break. John, you didn't expect me to have a beard? John, I came out of the womb with a beard. You know, I've never known myself without a beard. All right, wait up. Cool, okay. Dave, you're moving around here. Please correct me on your names because on YouTube some of you don't have names attached. Yeah, it's so cool that you're moving around here. That's an awesome neighborhood. You certainly picked well. Sammy, someone really did, but I think they were trolling, so say goodbye to them. Carmen, thank you so much. Sandy says walking 2 hours. So this is not a history tour, so we might be walking for longer. Look at this mansion. Wow, what is this? Oh my God. Corbin, thank you so much for the tours. So many great things about New York City. Unusual street performers, exotic cars, hot fashion, eccentric people. You can pump some juice into these streams as well as history tours. All good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thank you. Are we in the rich side of town? Yes, we are. This is now a very expensive neighborhood. However, most of these houses originally were built for the working class. So they were not expensive originally. So for example, when you see houses like this used to be a carriage house for horse carriages, not for cars. I say it's a Masonic temple. It kind of looks like a Masonic temple. You're right, George. George asks, speaking of a water break, do you ever have to pee? No, George. I never have to pee. I haven't peed in 10 years. Sorry for the sarcasm, but there's been a very few times that I had to really go, and I've hit it pretty well and just ended the live stream. Never abruptly. And there is one live stream where I did go to the bathroom, but I didn't show anything, don't worry. I took an intermission via a video break due to the wonders of technology. So yeah. John, I've mentioned all Masonic tours in my tours recently. I did one in Port Jefferson, Long Island. I still have yet to go inside one for a video tour, so maybe one day I'll collaborate with New York Masonic Lodge and show it indoors. Guys, I'm just in love with this neighborhood. This is a great detour to Dumbo. Look at this beautiful lane. All right, we're gonna walk through this lane. So these are what are known as mews. Mews used to either be the places where they would have horse and carriages stored, you know, these would be the stables, and or the servants would live here, who would serve the houses. So in the very beginnings of Brooklyn Heights, it was pretty high class. Then it became pretty much working class around the Irish immigration time, like 1880s, 1890s, as Irish were moving up and away from lower Manhattan. So these buildings, when you see these huge structures, these were horse and carriage stables. Theta, no, Theta. Well, right now we are in Brooklyn Heights. This is a very residential neighborhood, so generally, no. There's not that many people out in the streets in Brooklyn Heights. So you're not getting right now at this moment what would be considered a vibrant New York. Look at this house. Whoa. All right, everyone. Whoever wants to check in Street Easy, let us know an update of the prices. Let us know. This is 16 Hunts Lane. 16 Hunts Lane. Look at this gorgeous house. Wow. Have I ever been to the Scottish Rite in Indianapolis? No, I've never been to Indianapolis. What should I check out in the Scottish Rite? John, Brooklyn Heights is a very safe neighborhood. Port Washington has some beautiful places also. Yes, it does. Here's the back sides of the buildings. More touristy things to do in New York City. Okay, so we have reached a dead end, so we have to go back. Yep, literally a dead end. I'm actually kind of surprised it's a dead end. So let's go back. Looks like Portobello Road. Yeah, it does have quite a look like Portobello Road. Such a beautiful area of London. Okay, so let's go back. This does look very European, it does. And Nikita, you might be getting your wish. We will be seeing the Brooklyn Promenade as we make our way to Dumbo. Yeah, Johnson. It's Brooklyn Heights is a very safe neighborhood. Very safe. I never felt unsafe in Brooklyn Heights. David says, wow. Yeah, indeed. Wow, David. So Persevere has a great question. Is the Bronx and Brooklyn the same? No. So New York has 5 boroughs. Brooklyn is one of those boroughs. What many people know as the city, skyscrapers, New Empire State Building, that's the borough of Manhattan. What people know as, there's the borough of the Bronx. The Bronx is usually not just Bronx. And Queens. And the 5th borough, what's the 5th borough? Let me know in the comments. I know it, of course, but I'm testing all of your knowledge. What's the 5th borough of New York? Oh, this is the church with the amazing doors. And, oh wow, let's check this out. Oh, look at this church. Whoa. This is a very residential neighborhood, Wilma, so generally there's not that many people walking out and about. Yes, it's a bit emptier, but it's never really that filled with people. Omar, what does a borough mean? A borough is like a region, a district. In some cities it might be called arrondissement in Paris. What are they called in Rome? In London, they're also called boroughs. Beautiful door. One of the best doors you can see on the church. I think that's depicting the Titanic, if I'm correct. Whoa, is that Orthodox Church? I don't think so. I think it might be Episcopalian. Yeah, judging by the architecture, I think it's Episcopalian. Episcopalian is basically Anglican, American Anglican. Oh no, it's not. Interesting. So this is Our Lady of Lebanon Maronite Catholic Cathedral. It's Catholic. Unique look for a Catholic church. I bet this Catholic church used to be Episcopalian church, if I would put my money on it. If anyone can know, let us know in the comments. But this is Catholic. Staten Island, that's correct. That's the other borough. Do you fly aircraft? Not jesting. David, no, I never flew. I've been, of course, on planes, but I never flown. I never piloted a plane. I don't know too much about it. I know there's a bunch of awesome YouTubers who are pilots. I've never done it. It probably used to be a synagogue. Might have been. There is pointy top, so maybe, I'm not sure. Hello, Carolyn, welcome. Case of Staten Island. Ooh, a lot of people know they're in New York City. Awesome. Le Bronx, Omar. It's the Bronx. The Bronx. Or the Bronx, DA. Wow. Blown away. Most of them built prior to Civil War. Yes, there's many houses here that predate Civil War. It's the largest pre-Civil War houses in Brooklyn. Thanks for the tour. I have to go. It's midnight for me. The tour was amazing. Many thanks for your semi-neighboring country that's over 7 hours away. England. No, thank you so much for tuning in. From England, Millie. Glad that video brought you over here randomly. So welcome. So Omar says it's a Lebanese church. So it might not be Roman Catholic. It might be the other type of Catholic. There's a few other Catholics. The Roman is not the only one. Station Island is nearby. Ooh, I'm not sure what Station Island is, but you might be referring to Staten Island, and Staten Island is not close right now, no. So here we have the main thoroughfare. David says, oh my God, they're beautiful. The doors were saved when they took items off the Normandy. It was the Normandy. Thank you so much, David. I knew it was a famous ship. Awesome, David. I love always your extra history tips. Is that bakery still in business? Let's see, which one are you referring to? This one, yes. Lassen and Hennings is still in business. 1949. Yeah, still in business. I think just closed, or it's about to close. Hello, Danielle. Daniel, welcome from New Jersey. George, yep. You're right. It's the USS Normandy. It is. So here is a bit emptier than usual. Usually you'll see more life here on a Friday night. So it is a bit emptier. Is New York City dead? No. There's a bagel store still open. Ain't New York City over until the bagel store closes. Which it hasn't. The original Haagen-Dazs. Thank you for letting us know, Red. Yes, that is as far as I know, is the first ever Haagen-Dazs store. Haagen-Dazs started their empire here. So yeah, right here, right nearby. We just passed it. So I captured it on video. Oh, look at this building. Does the city ever sleep? Well, yeah, it has slept because of the pandemic. So the city is a bit sleepy. So yeah, it has gone to sleep. But it will wake up again. Also, this is a very famous hotel. I think the Brooklyn Dodgers used to celebrate here when they would win their victories with Babe Ruth. It has been converted to like a very high-end hotel. What's the name of it? Let's see. The Bossert. The Bossert. Where there are bagels, there is life, says Donald. Oh yes, Donald. That is an accurate statement. I approve that statement. I approve this message. Here's the Heights Cafe. Probably one of the more prettier restaurants I've seen in Brooklyn Heights. Duff's Rock Bar in Williamsburg has an electric chair from Death Row. Whoa, Paul, that is quite a grim place to have a bar. Interesting. Leanne, twice a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays, I do a scheduled live stream at 1 p.m. And then sometimes I do random videos like these. So put on your notifications. On YouTube, it's that bell button. On Facebook, it's a little bit more complicated, but click on follow and click see all for notifications. Oh, it is a Sunday. Sorry. I usually do these on Saturday, so I thought it was a Saturday. So that's why it's a bit emptier. It is a Sunday. Sundays tend to be a little bit quieter. Here's a cat cafe. Whoa. Hey, David, thank you so much for posting that article from Ephemeral New York. I love Ephemeral New York. They always have great articles. That guy has an amazing blog. There's also Forgotten New York, which I recommend. Alex, Babe Ruth played for the Yankees. No. Babe Ruth played for the Brooklyn Dodgers, not the Yankees. Is Queens a cool, exciting place? Yes, it is. It's possibly more exciting right now since the law of Manhattan is much quieter. Perhaps I'll show you more Queens soon. So Arthur Miller, the famous writer, used to live here. Famous for his affair with Anais Nin. Actually, no. Sorry, wrong Miller. This is the Arthur Miller who wrote Death of a Salesman. Got confused with the other writer, Miller. So, Death of a Salesman. Red says, this is newish. There was never a cat cafe when I was living in that area. Yeah, that cat cafe is pretty new. You should venture to Queens. I do many times, Shadow. I've done so many times. Again, I've done 1,000 videos in New York. But yeah, we'll go back soon. I think it'll be worth showing Queens during this time. So a lot of people saying Babe Ruth did not play for the Dodgers? Really? Play for the Yankees? He is from the 1920s, isn't he? 1930s? Huh. I didn't know. Oh, the Brooklyn Dodgers was dissolved?
I don't care, and I have simple
Oh, wow. I don't know my baseball history too well. I don't know too much history of baseball or current baseball at all. But thank you for the correction. I didn't realize Babe Ruth was for the Yankees. Must have been very early Yankees. Johnson says it's the Mandela effect. I think it might be. I always swore he played for the Dodgers. Red says, yes, they called the old Yankee Stadium the house that Ruth built. Thank you. So I got confused with Arthur Miller and Henry Miller. Yeah. So Arthur Miller, Death of a Salesman, lived here. Henry Miller lived somewhere else in New York City. He was in the Chelsea Hotel. So here is where George Washington escaped the British under a night of fog out to Manhattan, and luckily winning the war on behalf of the new nation of the United States of America. The trees look well maintained. Oh, yes, they do. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for these views. One of the most magical views in New York City. This is the Brooklyn Promenade. Oh, thank you, Bernadette. So Babe Ruth was sold to the Yankees in the 1920s, or he signed up for them. Thank you. How does Brooklyn compare to Montreal? I've never been to Toronto, but to Montreal, I would say Brooklyn is more dense than Montreal. There's more things to do in a smaller amount of space. Ricardo, is this in real time? Yes, unless if I always knew that there was a Ricardo, and I managed to say that anyway. Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, Ricardo, this is life. Feel free to ask me anything. Jackie, Moonstruck. Yeah, the Moonstruck house is in Brooklyn Heights, and earlier today, we went to the Moonstruck Bakery neighborhood in Carroll Gardens. Jill says does not compare, or Gil says it does not compare. Yeah, Montreal. It's a different city. It's much smaller, less dense. Has great food, but it is Brooklyn. Brooklyn's pretty unique. Pretty unique. And the Statue of Liberty there in the distance. Leonard Cohen wrote an amazing song about the Chelsea Hotel. Oh, yes, he did. Patti Smith wrote many parts of her books take place in the Chelsea Hotel. And I'm sure she wrote a few songs about it. This is the BQE right underneath us. Brooklyn Promenade. Very beautiful promenade to hang out in. Look at that sun. Powerful. Majestic. Wonderful, glorious. Let me know if you have any other adjectives to describe the sun. Almighty, magnificent. marvelous. Hey, Caroline, just subscribe to my channel. Oh, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Have I spotted any celebrities? On a live video, I think I spotted 2 or 3. But I don't remember their names. One of them was I think it was Serena Williams? No, Serena Miller, I think was one of those. But however, aside from videos, I've spotted many celebrities on my own while walking around. I've spotted Justin Timberlake. I spotted a Tom Hardy who I saw with a very scraggly beard and an overly big suit, and I couldn't believe it was him. I had to do a triple take. And then I saw this man with a huge neck tattoo, and I thought to myself, no, it can't be Tom Hardy. He looks so scraggly. He looks so kind of disheveled. And I look on the photo, and lo and behold, yep, Tom Hardy has a huge neck tattoo. It was him. I've seen Tom Hardy. I've seen Zachary Quinto, who is Spock in Star Trek. I have met James Cameron, shook his hand. He told me to keep on going, that he said that I will be making big Hollywood movies at some point. That felt it was the best thing I ever heard in my life. Strongest handshake I ever had in my life. I've seen many celebrities. Let me know in the comments. Which celebrities have you seen? Let me know in the comments. Caitlin saw Patti Smith in Bethlehem. Oh, cool. I have family in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. That's awesome. Donald loves Patti Smith. Oh, yes. Who wants to see an Urbanist episode with Patti Smith? I think she would make a great Urbanist guest. And I bet she might be down for it because she has written books about New York. So